I want to make sure I don't have any granola in my teeth. No, good. Good morning, it's Tuesday morning. It is almost 11 already. I'm at the office, as you can see, and today's an exciting morning because I'm doing an interview with Kelsey from Todd?
Jorssen Marketing.
Jorssen Marketing.
Yeah.
So this is exciting. Usually I'm the person on the other side of the camera, but today Kelsey is going to be interviewing me. I think we're going to be talking about branding and stuff like that. I'm not really sure. So we're going to do a little cross promotion. I told her that I would put the interview on our YouTube channel because she wanted to interview me for her blog, which is exciting. So yeah, we're just getting set up and getting ready to go here. So I was just doing a little intro. And Kelsey, can you say where you're from?
Oh,
Just for our YouTube channel, because we're going to do a little
Here?
cross promotion here. Yeah.
okay. I'm Kelsey Jorssen of Jorssen Marketing, and I run a digital marketing company as well. I interview really, I think rad entrepreneurs who are doing some cool things, and yeah, that's just a little tidbit.
Totally. So this is going to be fun because I like that we can do a little cross promotion right now. So, and I'm excited to be sitting on this side of the interview because in the last little while I feel like I've been interviewing other people. So
I read that you've been doing this for 8 years, or running this business.
Yeah.
So do you really feel like it's kind of come to where you expect it to at this point at your age?
yes and no. And I say yes because I imagined, I wanted to have a great interior design firm. I wanted to be working with a great team and staff and have some really fantastic clients and projects. So in that sense, yes, but at the same time, I feel like in a way, we just signed off on a brand new penthouse project that we're going to be doing in China. It's a 3-level penthouse in Chengdu. It's a dream project, and
Yeah.
we had just completed another penthouse over in Cole Harbour in Vancouver, which is a 9,000 square foot penthouse. And that was just hit the market as the most expensive real estate in Canada. So again, it was just a huge career, win. So in that sense, it's been so much more than I expected. But then at the same time, the reason why I say no is because I think that when you are going into business, you think that it's you're going to have the swanky office and you're going to be driving a BMW in a couple years, and you think, so I feel like those expectations of what you think it's going to be like
Are so much different.
are so different than what the reality actually is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's totally been a great ride, but yes and no. In some ways my expectations have been totally far exceeded, and then in some ways it's been not. An adjustment.
Did you work from home too, or did you have an office space right away?
When I initially started, I was working either from home or from a co-working space.
Okay. And so you've been here for 4 years. Was this your first office, or did you have?
No, I had an office that was half the size. So when I got my first office, which was shortly after I launched at that 8-year mark, the office was about half the size. And then when I moved into this office, I felt like this was a huge jump because it was the rent was more expensive. We had to renovate it. We had to buy all new computers and software, and I was so terrified of making that jump at the time and when I was working out of the office that was 250 square feet, I think we maxed out at about 3 people could sit there comfortably, and if you had a fourth, that was you were now exploding. And so it's funny because we're set up for 6 people here, and now we have 8 that are coming and going. So now we're exploding again. So now the office that we're looking at, I think it's 4 times the size of this space, I guess.
Well, congrats.
Yeah,
It's a
4.
big deal.
It is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's a big deal.
another step, another chapter.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I also identify you, should I say, as well, a personal brand.
Yeah.
And then you have your company brand.
Yeah.
So when did you integrate that in, and did you expect to also layer that in with your company brand, personal branding?
Okay, so what's new for me is I've got my design team, and then I just added Kristen and Todd to the media team. So to focus on things like YouTube and marketing, and I mean there's so many things that I want to do in life creatively and business wise, and I felt like I needed to separate myself a little bit from the House of Bohn brand in order to pursue other ventures and expand. I'm still kind of like assessing how my personal brand works and what I want to do with the personal brand, and then how I want to grow the House of Bohn brand. Like it's still kind of being massaged and it's still being really like defined. I think that I'm able to create a really distinct brand overall for House of Bohn that is unique in the interior design marketplace. So that is really important for me. Like House of Bohn does really interesting work and really artistic work, and we really focus a lot on creativity. But the reality is there's lots of interior designers that do that as well.
Yeah.
And so I think that by creating a personal brand, it just gives you so much more of a stronger voice to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. And it's, you know, there's just like interior design is interesting. It's a difficult one for social media, I think, and I'm still like learning this and experimenting. And I want to answer this question on whether or not social media does impact your interior design business in a positive way. And the reason I say that is because like our clients just don't typically find us through social media.
Okay. How do they find you?
So a lot of it is word of mouth. Word of mouth, referral based, or like just straight up picking up the phone and cold calling. Like that's how we've gotten some of our clients. So it's like those business fundamentals, like of growing a business and like just hardcore sales is how we get our clients. It's not typical that someone's going to be kind of surfing through their Instagram feed and see like a beautiful image of a project that we just did and go like, hey, I need to hire them to do interior design work. Like that's happening a little bit more now, but to convert a client from the time that they even know about us to the time that we actually sign the client, there's a fairly long sales process that has to happen.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen on social media.
What is cold calling to you? Because I feel like it can mean somewhat different things to people, and especially when we're talking about developing a brand and growing a business.
Yeah.
Contacting your audience directly.
Yeah.
Can you shed a little bit more light on how you do that?
Yeah. When I first started cold calling, it was like horrifying to me. I hated like literally picking up the phone, dialing someone's number.
Yeah.
And saying like, hi, I'm Karin from House of Bohn. I know you because of so-and-so, and you know, blah, blah, blah. I really would love to work with you, and I'd love to get together to see if there's a possibility in working together. Making that call used to, like, before I would do it, I would be like, I would start sweating. Even when I was on the phone, like if I had to leave a voicemail, I would like leave the voicemail really, really fast. And when I would hang up, I would like literally, my heart would be racing so fast. I would have to stop myself. I felt like I was gonna pass out. Like I hated cold calling. I hated cold calling because I think I hated the ask. It plays into that whole like value thing, right? If they are calling me, then it just felt like there was an automatic appreciation of the value that we would bring to the table.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to sell it as much. It's like any skill that you can build, and I think the more you do it, obviously the better that you get at it. And cold calling, hands down, has been one of my best sales tactics.
Did you ever undervalue yourself, especially when you started?
Totally. I think I mean, for sure. I think there would be a lot of times where projects would run over that scope, but we're not billing for those fees, or I was doing a lot of extra work in order to make the client happy. And I think the reality is when you're building a business, like those are the hits that you take, right? Like you can't expect to be charging for every, phone call and every hour that you spend on a project, because you're building your portfolio, you're building your client base. I think it's so important that like young entrepreneurs and new entrepreneurs realize that and recognize that, because you're gonna have the most success when you treat it as like an endurance and not a sprint, right? Like if you're in it for the long haul and you're really wanting to build something that has value and build something that has, you know, legacy or impact, there's the time and all the steps that you have to take in order to get there, and that's not something that happens overnight or even in a couple of years. The other advice I would say would be to manage your finances as best as you can, because you know you might want to come out of the gates and have like a really nice office and like swanky gear and you know stuff like that, but that all comes at a cost. I think with business, if you take it like black and white, you want to be able to peel back the layers of your business and at the bottom find a really good set of numbers.
So my last question for you actually is, have you ever had like a holy shit moment? Sorry, can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever like what the hell am I doing? Or you know, have you had moments like that as you pretty much even up till now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. All the time. Yeah. Like if I'm really honest about it, yeah, all the time. Like I go, holy shit, what the hell am I doing all the time? Because the reality of being a business owner is that there's so much to do all the time, and there's so much responsibility that you carry all the time. Like we'll juggle anywhere from, it's usually about 12 to 16 projects at a time with a fairly small team. So that's, you know, 12 to 16 bosses that I have, that's 12 to 16 construction teams that we've got going on. And it's like at any one of those points, if a couple of clients are slow to pay their bills, if there's some problems that are happening on a job site, if internally there's, you know, a staffing and an HR problem, like all of that stuff falls on your shoulders and you go home with that at night. And so I think that, and sometimes those problems you can't fix them overnight. Like there's a lot of like climbing out of a couple holes that have to happen.
Yeah.
And those are the times that I feel like are like the hardest to actually feel good about what you're doing, because it's so much stress and it's so much pressure. And then when you go to work, it's your team is depending on you, your clients are depending on you, and you can't roll into work being pissed off at everybody and pissed off at the world. You kind of have to come in and have like a really great attitude, and sometimes that it's hard, right? It's not easy. So and I always say that in business, the most exciting and challenging thing is that you're always solving problems, you're always solving business problems. And so if you're a person that likes to be challenged and you like to learn, business is great, because as soon as you solve like your problems that you had in startup, you're faced with a new set of problems. And then as soon as you overcome those challenges, you've got another set of challenges. And that's just the way business works. So that can be exciting for someone that likes to learn, but on the flip side, it can also be like really tiring and like really lonely, because you're the only person that you're kind of alone in this journey.
Yeah, that's what a lot of entrepreneurs talk about, is how it can be a lonely process.
Yeah.
I know having a team certainly helps, but the evolution of the business and developing it, it's all here, and you're wearing those many hats, which you just described.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You answered all my questions really beautifully.
Okay, that's awesome. Yay! Yeah. That's a wrap. This guy, I'm like sweating under him. He
so
fell
cute.
asleep.
I have to take a picture of this.
Okay, so that's a wrap. Good timing. It's 5 to 12, so that lasted about an hour. Great interview with Kelsey. It's always so nice to know and hear and meet other entrepreneurs in the city. So just on closing, one last comment that I had said as Kelsey was out the door, which I think is so valuable and that I want to share with you guys, is that having a great community around you and a great support network and really investing in that network is great, and I don't dissuade it at all. In fact, I totally encourage it. But the one thing that I want to drive home about building a business is that community is never a substitute for sales. And hardcore like sales is what is going to give you the foundation and leverage to grow your business. Just depending on what your business goals are. But if you want to grow big, then you need to have those sales. And don't ever think for a second that just because you've got a great network of, women support group around you, that's going to propel your business forward. You need to get out there and hustle and sales and do the hard work
that's required to grow a business. So that's all I want to say in closing, but great interview, great start to the day, and I guess I'm going to jump into work. So you can follow me on Instagram at Karin Bohn. That's where I am active the most. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And until next time, bye for now.
Good morning, you guys. It is Wednesday. No. It's Tuesday morning. Oh my gosh. What the heck day is it today? It's the 5th. I don't know. I don't have my phone here by me.